Hey guys, this is Oshi and this is going to be a pick a card reading about what big questions you should focus on currently, why, and advice on how to deal with it. I don't know if you guys know, but I have this deck called Questions Oracle, which has cards related to big issues in life, and sometimes it's easy to, pinpoint what big issue is at play in our life currently, but sometimes we need a little help. So this reading is aimed to be helping with that. There's gonna be 3 piles as per usual. Pile number 1 has this tiny bottle of Carnelion, which is this one. Pile 2 has a rune, and pile 3 has the Moonstone. So if you just want to pick according to the cards or on the number or the items, feel free. There's no right or way to choose. Just if you can decide, check something and see if you feel it applies. There could be multiple decks or piles calling in this reading, because especially depending on when you're watching this video, because these are issues that we all face at certain time in our lives. So hopefully you managed to choose by now, and I'm gonna start with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this little bottle of Carnelion, then this is your reading. So let's see, first of all, what is your big question? Oh, we have autumn, which is quite timely for when I'm filming this video. So this card is not just about, hey, it's autumn, what do you think about autumn? It's about everything we associate with the season, and at least in our hemisphere of things. But if you just think about it, oh no, wait, seasons are the same everywhere. Oh god, I'm just a little tired, I guess. But autumn is all about closing things off. It's about letting things go. It's about taking in and taking account, checking on what we accomplished this year. How is our harvest? Are we happy to be at a place we are in, or are we, do we feel that we missed a lot of opportunities this year? How do we approach the ending of the energetic season? Or how do we approach that time of the year when we feel more recluse, when we feel we want to step a little away from people usually, because autumn and winter is more about contemplation, more about, like I said, taking account of things. So we will have an oracle card at the end as an overall message, but we will have first the Hush Tarot to see why this thing is, why this question, why the autumn card came up. Okay, we have a King of Wands, the Nine of Wands. Oh, there's a Ten of Wands. There's a lot of wands. Interesting. So it's very interesting, because wands, how I read them, I associate them with fire, and fire I associate with summer. So these are all summer cards, but we have the big question, autumn. So it's definitely about, maybe there's some reluctance of closing off a cycle, a seasonal cycle. Maybe you're that sort of person who misses summer, misses the sun, and have a hard time changing from one state to the other. Dealing with the change of the season could be something that you need to not just focus on, but admit or allow yourself to experience, because sometimes these questions come up because we are trying to do everything in our power to distract ourselves and not deal. So that's the, just based on the fire cards. And then interestingly, we have the King, which is someone who is very much in control of their elements, and fire, and being active and creating and turning things upside down and creating something special and wonderful. But that usually happens when we are in a more of an outgoing, expressive energy state. And autumn is all about, going inwards. So the problem could be is, like I said, it's hard to let go of that state where you feel creative, where you feel confident. Because maybe your confidence or your state of happiness is connected to being able to go out and do things outside more. And when the seasons change, even if you're not someone who likes to spend time with other people, maybe you feel better when you're outside. And when the season changes, obviously if it's raining, if it's colder, we tend to not spend as much time outside in nature as we usually would. We also have the 9 of Wands and a 10 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is all about drawing that line in the sand and finally deciding what sort of a life you want. So this could be all about you finally setting some boundaries in life this year and feeling confident about it, and maybe thinking that things change again with the season and how people are and how you feel. Maybe there's a fear of losing that confidence, and that can lead to taking up too much, like you're really trying to do a lot of things. You're trying to still do everything that you did during the summer because you might be feeling a sense of loss of confidence, not necessarily consciously, but we can be a little hard on ourselves because we don't do as much during the autumn or the fall. During fall and winter we don't do as much as we did during spring and summer, but that's actually the natural way of things. So what I'm definitely getting it is that you chose this pile because you need to be a little more gentle with yourself. You need to allow yourself to not do as much as you did in the previous season, because because the natural order of things is right now slowing down, right now turning a bit more inwards and not just being out there and creating and doing things that you want. Sometimes you need to step away and take account of what you accomplished, because if you don't do that, you might miss the progress that you actually made. And yeah, there could be some fear about, not thinking that you didn't accomplish as much as you did, but we have the King of Wands here, so you definitely did more than you give yourself credit for. Okay, so this is the why, and then let's see some advice on how to deal with it, because that's useful. Okay, we have a 10 of Pentacles, a 7 of Swords, and the Hermit. I love that. I love the Hermit because it's all about turning inwards and, being that energy that you're supposed to be and allowing yourself to step away from people. But also, and interesting, the 7 of Swords here, but the big thing is with the 10 of Pentacles is seek help from people who know you, support you, family, friends, close, people close to you. It doesn't have to be, family if you're not close with them. You will know who are those people, who is that community that you can turn to for help. And it could be something that, like reaching out for people that you heard talking about having issues with, seasonal depression, for example, or just having having issues with dealing with change, because they might have something that they already learned that they can share with you that you can use. So definitely reach out for people and find the support system that you actually have, because you have those people. You can be honest about it. And with the Seven of Swords in this reading, I'm getting, don't try to cut weights, don't try to just cut corners and, think that you can deal with this issue like one day. It's gonna be a process. You will need to learn how to set boundaries, and with the Nine of Wands, decide how you want to live your life. Decide what is good for you, what is comfortable for you, and stick with it. And it's not it doesn't have to be a straight line. It's gonna be trials and errors. But if you figure this one out this year, you will have something that you can go and turn back to next year and the upcoming years ahead. So if you decide to actually do this work now, you will benefit greatly in the long run, because you will have an arsenal of tools that you can use to deal with issues that come up when, summer turns into autumn. And maybe, this year, or when you're watching this reading, autumn, this card is all about the challenges, but after a while you can work with this energy and focus more on the harvest and what you accomplished, and celebrate that while letting go certain things, because it's a natural element of the season. And we have that, don't be afraid with this card, don't be afraid to spend time alone, because you will learn about yourself, you will learn about what happened this year or in the previous months, if you allow yourself to, journal or create some sort of art. Maybe if you're, if you like to do art, or I don't even know, take walks, maybe shorter walks, and maybe less frequent, but don't listen to music, don't go with someone else, obviously if it's safe, do everything that makes you feel safe, and just allow your thoughts to surface, because what you need time to allow your thoughts to surface, because there's something that you need to hear that your subconscious wants to tell you. It could be that. So yeah, hope this is useful, and let's check your final message. Yes, I love that. It's a skill. So learning these changes, it's not just takes time, because it's going to be a skill. It's going to be a mental skill that you develop this season, but it's very personalized, because if this card is from the Zombie Oracle, and if you look at it, this is a bat with huge ass nails that's good against zombies. But you need to find and identify your enemy, so to speak, which is not your enemy, but what you need help to deal with, and you need to tailor your skills or tools according to that, because that's how it's going to be the most effective. But it's not going to be that quick, it's not a straight line. Like I said, it's not a course that you can take. It's listening inwards, it's listening to your body, because sometimes your body is telling you that, hey, I'm tired, I just need some TV show on the couch or something, and that's okay. Or reading, maybe read more, because if that helps you relax. But it's definitely something that needs to be tailored to your specific needs, your specific circumstances. For some it's gonna be more alone time, for some it's gonna be more time spending with people who can, where you feel you can be honest and feel supportive. But like I said, don't try to cut corners, because it's just gonna backfire, and this thing is gonna come up next season if you don't deal with it. But it's a wonderful thing about tarot. It can give you a chance to deal with issues you maybe didn't even think you had. But I'm gonna, just end here. Hope this was useful. Please do let me know how this reading resonated. I will try to post more pick a card readings in the future, at least once a week, but we will see. But please like, subscribe, that helps my channel. It's still just a tiny one because I moved my readings back to here. Check out my main channel if you want to connect with me or if you're curious about tarot in general. And if you have an idea or a topic you would like to have for a pick a card reading, please leave it in the comments because I'm always happy to do readings that people want to hear about. Thank you so much and see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose this rune or the number 2, then this is going to be your reading. So this is an oracle that we're gonna check at the end, but let's first check your big question. Oh, it's mistakes. Okay, mistakes is a hard card because it can come up multiple times, and it's not just about making mistakes. It's not a card that calls you out and tells you that, hey, you made a mistake. It's more about how do you deal with making mistakes. Do you try and appreciate the lesson in making mistakes, or do you just not even, you don't even start because, oh, if you don't know how to do it perfectly the first time, you don't even want to do. Also, it can be about how to deal with you making mistakes, but it can also be about how you deal with other people making mistakes, because people make mistakes and sometimes it's hard to give them grace and space to grow because you get angry and they made a mistake, and if it's a big one especially, it's harder to deal with it. But we're gonna look into why this card came up for you. We have a 3 of Swords, a Queen of Cups, oh, and the 3 of Pentacles. Two threes. And the queens are the mini empresses in the deck, and the empress is number 3, so there's a lot of trees. And 33. Oh, and there's a 3 over there as well. So 3 is definitely a number that can be very, very specific and very meaningful. Maybe it's bringing in the Empress energy as well into the reading. So because we have the 3 of Swords, which is about heartbreak, experiencing some sort of a pain, disappointment, and loss that we need to deal with in the intelligence or in the realms of the mind, because usually it's about heartbreak and I suffered, that was a hard word to say, suffered some loss, but it's not just about feeling heartbreak, for example, because I don't know, I'm getting a lot of relationship type of things from this reading. Trees are all about support systems and friendships, and in some certain aspect, that extra person in a relationship that you don't want there. For some, it could be that. But in a general, because this is a general reading, in a general sense, it's not just about experiencing a loss and heartbreak, but it's about how you deal with it. And that's how mistake card comes in. I kind of feel like it's, there's 2 chances with that definite relationship aspect and element for this reading. How do you deal with you making mistakes and other people making mistakes? That's why this card is here. Something happened in your life recently that made you feel pain, that caused some heartbreak. And it came from a close person. Maybe it's a friendship, it's a relationship. It was caused by someone that you regard as part of your support system, or you did that to someone who's, who regards you as their support system. Because like I said, it's a general reading, so it could be both. Definitely feeling that I'm trying not to, be here. If you look at this queen, the queens are usually very confident. They know how to express themselves. They on the more withdrawn side of the same energy as the king, and it's the emotions. But with this specific card, I'm getting that I'm just gonna, take a step back. I'm not here fully. I'm not in my power currently. So it could be trust issues as well, something related to trusting people and accepting that even if they make mistakes, it doesn't mean that they are not your friends anymore. For example, let's go with the easy example, because we're humans, we make mistakes. So maybe you're dealing with some fallout in a relationship, and your natural instinct is to withdraw, to take a step back, to disappear, to not be part of that group or that support system anymore. If it was because other people did something, it could be that because, like you're literally building a wall. Okay, not literally. That was, shouldn't say that. But in this image, the crown looks like, spikes and a wall, a fence. And you're building up fence because, you don't trust those people. And this card is calling you out to actually take a look at how you deal with other people making mistakes versus how you react when you make mistakes. Because maybe you manage to be more gentle, more accepting, more supporting toward yourself when you're making mistake, but maybe you haven't learned to extend that to other people. Obviously, it's your absolutely your place to decide if you want to forgive someone, but this opportunity can be a good one to look into how you deal with just making mistakes in general, but how that affects you. And how I definitely feel the need for checking how do you deal with other people making mistakes, because second chances are a wonderful thing, but sometimes it's hard to give them, and sometimes you don't need you shouldn't, because the heartbreak was that you experienced is just too big and too profound or too deep. The wounds are too deep, and you shouldn't. So I'm not saying that you should forgive someone if they make mistakes. I'm just saying that right now this card came up because you have an opportunity to look into how you react. And once you're okay with that decision, everything is fine. But it has to come from an emotionally stable and well-balanced position. You can't be the one hiding. You need to step into your power, look into your emotions, look at how those things that happen make you feel on a deeper level, and then, decide if you want that person in your life or not. And it doesn't matter if you made a mistake or it was them, there's a decision to be made. And, if you know that, if you know how you react about people making mistakes next time when this situation comes up, because people will make mistakes, it's just how life is, then you have a better understanding why you react a certain way, which can be very, very useful. But let's look into some advice on how to deal with this right now. Oh, Judgment, the Page of Swords, the Word, and the Five of Swords. Okay. So Judgment, yeah, it's about it's about judging people, It's about judging yourself. It's about everything that I said pretty much so far. But it calls you to actually be more gentle with yourself and with others, because you're not all knowing. You don't have all the information maybe, and that's where the Page of Swords comes in, because the Page of Swords is a little detective, you know, someone who looks into details and tries to figure out things. But sometimes you can get lost into the details and not see the big picture. Because if you look at this page, and hopefully you can see that this page is looking here, trying to find the galaxy that he needs to tame, or you know, learn how to cut through with his sword. But the galaxies are over there, it's up here, and the page is too distracted by looking elsewhere, because you know, they are trying to find the tiny stars instead of looking around and spotting the big picture, the big galaxy. But like I said, this is a very good chance for you to actually see how things are working in your life and why they are happening. Because the World card is not just about, you know, closing off a cycle or finding your place. It's about finally realizing why certain things are the way they are. Actually growing up to that point where you can understand that, you know, human beings are flawed, for example, and certain things happen for a reason, and you have to deal with that knowledge. But we also have, as an extra card, the Five of Swords, which, how I read is, you know, it's a reminder of being selfish. If you look at this card, this person has two swords. Yeah, that's two. Which could be decision. But with full of stars, it's full of galaxies. This person doesn't need more, but they are still taking this empty sword because they think they need it. And if you look at these tiny figures, because they had to walk away, because this person made them feel small. If you look at the size difference, it's sometimes it's obvious. This person made them feel small. This person took away what was important to them, these swords, because he was lacking something. There was some fear of lacking this power. But so this power is leaving these people, and this is a card about making other people suffer without actually intending to do that, because you just don't trust your own power, you don't trust your own self, so you think you need more support, maybe you think you need more focus or attention on you, when in fact whatever is happening, the other side needs that support and attention as well. And you can quite literally, in this case, be the bigger person and allow other people to make mistakes. I definitely feel more of that side coming through. It could be both, but I'm definitely feeling that you were wronged, but the decision of how you deal with it is absolutely yours. But yeah, you know, the choice is yours. You need to decide how you want to do it. I love this. And we have new beginning with the final oracle card. So yeah, new beginning. And I love this one. Obviously, I made it. Because this new beginning is not about a clean slate. It's about building on previous experiences. In this deck, these skulls and bones are finally belong to zombies, which means that humanity won. We can start anew without an enemy, but we can build on the previous experience so that we wouldn't make the same mistakes again. Oh, I love that. I love that. So I'm gonna finish here because I just love how this ties everything in together. Hope this was useful. Please don't think that I'm being judgmental towards you. I'm not. It's just you have a wonderful opportunity to become an empress, someone who's very powerful, someone who steps into their power and create and nurture other people because they know their own worth. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity. Hope you can use it. And please like, subscribe, share this video with other people. That helps my channel a lot. Comment down below if this reading resonated. I love hearing that. Or if you have ideas for pick a card reading topics, you can leave that in the comments as well. And check out my main channel if you want to connect with me. Other than that, thank you so much and see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Moonstone or just these cards, then this is going to be your reading. So this is going to be the last card to check. That's pretty much the final oracle message. First, we're gonna check your questions oracle. It's the present card with the number 38. This card is all about experiencing the here and the now. Maybe even looking into what does the here and now means to you, and just, you know, looking into if you spend enough time experiencing things, or maybe, you know, you spend too much time with trying to capture everything and, you know, just do things and not actually experience them. For example, going out for a wonderful walk, going out for a walk and you see wonderful foliage if it's autumn, or wonderful flowers if it's spring, and instead of just experiencing how that makes you feel, you just take a few pictures, post it on Instagram, and then call it a day because, you know, you did your part, you did the social media thing. So it's more about maybe, because we're gonna check into the cards why this card came up for you. It could be that there's a need to actually slow down and focus on the here and now, which can be hard things to do. Okay, 6 of Cups, the Hermit. Interesting. And the Ace of Cups. This card, not in this deck obviously, came up in a different pile. So if you felt connected to pile number, oh god, there was only 2, so let me check, but I think it was pile number 1. Yes, it was pile number 1. So check pile number 1 if you felt connected to that message. Maybe you need to see that as well. Okay, so we have a 6 of Cups. A 6 of Cups is all about nostalgia. And because we have the present card, I'm kind of getting a feeling, and the Hermit, and yeah, I'm definitely getting that feeling that distracting yourself in the present, which is interesting because it's the present card is not about a need of being in the present more. It's more about distracting yourself to be in the present, actually, to not think about something that happened in the past. Because there are some issues coming up. It's a general reading, so it's going to be very specific for, it's going to be different for each of you watching. But there is something that is connected to either childhood or earlier times when you felt happy, that is going, it might have already came up, or it's going to come up, that you're really trying hard to distract yourself from actually facing. So there's some fear here, I feel like, on your part of actually looking back. Maybe it's you reached a certain age and you don't want to look back and see what you have become and what were your childhood dreams, because maybe you think or you know that you didn't achieve what you thought you would achieve. So there could be some fear there, and that's why you're doing everything you can in the present moment to distract your thoughts, watching TV, being on social media, and just doing all those things to not face something that came up. But we have the big why is because you need to actually slow down. You need to take some time off from screens of phones and all the other surfaces that allow you to distract yourself, because there is something you need to figure out. And I don't know if you can see that, but this little owl has some cogs in its chest, and I kind of feel like you need to figure out how these things work. If something is amiss, maybe you're missing tiny cogs, or tiny screws, and the big machine can't really function as well as it could because you don't take time to do maintenance work. And I'm not saying that facing these issues or facing past missed opportunities or what if lives is going to be an easy one. But you can learn to accept what is already past, what you can't do because, certain things are not available after a certain time. If you wanted to be an astronaut, for example, if you're, I don't know, 60, it's the chances are bigger that you're not going to be one. I mean, working as an astronaut, you can still go and be a space tourist. I definitely hope to do it one day, but the chances are, that you're not going to be an astronaut, and that's okay, because life happens. We make mistakes, we make decisions, and we need to accept and learn from them. But you can only do that if you take time to actually look back at things that maybe you're fond of and figure out why don't you want to look back at them, and why do you have some bitterness when you think about things that are supposed to be happy. And why I'm hopeful and happy is because you have a new chance, a new opportunity to start something new that is emotionally fulfilling. And if you look at this card, it's not the typical Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, it can be about love and just a new opportunity and la la la. But I love this deck because it's about taking a chance on something and using an opportunity that comes from a previous experience or previous life, so to speak. If we look at the Six of Cups as a what if life, it's a never has been, it should have been, it didn't happen. And once you figure that one out, what was that in your past that supposed to be a happy memory, but for some reason makes you sad, you can start anew, and you can actually start something that will make you feel happy again and make you feel excited. And you don't need to, use the distraction of social media, for example, because from that moment on, you're more in balance with your own self. And those tiny screws and cogs that were missing can go back into their places, and the big machine of you can start again and start stronger. Because in that sense, age and the passage of time doesn't matter, because you can live 50 years and not do anything really meaningful with it, or you can just, and you can live the next 5 and do more than you did in the previous 50, for example. In that aspect, it really doesn't matter how old are you, because what it matters is how consciously you're living. The big thing for you is conscious living, but that includes making peace with the past. You can only be yourself and full in and whole on your own in the present if you deal with past issues. That's the big one. And let's see some cards to give you advice on how to do that, because you know that's always useful. And yeah, we have the Ten of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Five of Cups. And this is pretty much, in short, deal with your losses. Okay, so that's the big one, but let's break it down. The Ten of Swords is about an ending, and I just kind of love, even though I don't like this card, because obviously it's not an easy thing to experience, but it's ending a life, but not, you know, quite literally, but that what if has been life, accepting that that life is not going to happen, but also realizing that, you know, there's stars on the horizon, there's a new chance that you can have, there's a new opportunity for a new, different kind of life that you can live. It's with this ending, if you let go of certain things that connected to your past, you're not losing everything. You're losing things that are not there anyway, and not going to develop into anything new. And with the High Priestess, it's about what the Higher Hermit card is all about: listening inwards, trusting your instincts, and allowing the quiet to maybe show you some answers. Because, you know, if you're not too busy, if you're not surrounded by noise, outside noise, if you listen in, meditate, journal, I don't know, dance, take a walk. If you do those things, then you can actually hear what your subconscious wants to tell you. And then you will be able to finally accept the loss you suffered. That, because even if the memories are happy, they are gone now. And sometimes it's hard to let go of happy memories, and because then if you do that, you accept that they belong to the past. But if you do that, you can realize and see the new opportunity, that Ace of Cups too, actually, you know. It could be a new relationship, if we're talking about relationships as well, that is waiting for you. But you need to look first into the past, then more towards the future, which is quite interesting. I usually get the message of the importance of being in the here and now, but for you, first you need to look back, and then once you deal with that, you're going to be getting more excited about the future, and you can look into the future and actually anticipate and just be excited about the future. But you know, you need to do the work first. But that's okay, you can do that. Don't be hard on yourself if, for example, you use social media all the time. I'm not saying, I mean, if you can cut it off completely for, I don't know, a week or maybe a month, you know, just some period of time, do it. Obviously, it's amazing. But if you can do that, just start small and maybe set some programs and times when you can check certain social media, or how much you watch, or even for some people, even reading can be a distraction, because, you know, if you're reading, you're getting invested and involved with those characters in the books, not your own story. But that is what you need to do. And let's check your final card. Yeah, resurfacing threat. It's something that came up previously, so this is actually a new or a repeated opportunity to deal with this one, whatever we're talking about, whatever that memory or, you know, like I said, has been life is. It's something that You probably dealt with the bigger part of it in the past, but it's gonna come up again. But remember, it's resurfacing, which means that you already dealt with the bigger part of the issue. So there's less to do than last time because you already have that experience. So, you can deal with those zombies, so to speak, easier because you have the skills, the tools, but you still need to do the work. But I like this one because it lessens the load at least. Okay, so this was your reading. Hope this was useful. It's quite interesting, so if it resonates, please do let me know. You don't need to go into specifics, obviously, because readings can be very personal. I appreciate if you share anything, of course. Please like, subscribe, share it with other people. Those all help my channel. And check out my main channel if you're interested in cards or, getting to know me on a more personal level. But other than that, leave a comment with your pick a card readings, topic suggestion if you have any. And see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely one. Bye.